Hello. Thank you.
I think we met before.
You seem familiar, yes.
Kind of on a stage like this with lots of weird wine people around you and
It does ring a bell about 4 years ago.
to perform. How are you feeling?
I really feel great. Less than 40 people have had the privilege to be on this stage, so I will really try to enjoy that privilege tonight.
You should enjoy every second of it. Now come with me, we have to work. You're the sommelier of this restaurant, and your restaurant manager, come over here, please. Your restaurant manager suddenly had to leave, so you have a few tables to take care of. I would like you to start at this table. You have a bartender, Sarah. She will assist you if you need. You start at this table, and we will give you 3 minutes. You will get instructions at the table. So first order at this table.
Perfect. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nina. I have the honor of taking care of you tonight. My restaurant manager has left, but what
We'd
can
like
I
to
do?
order some aperitifs. The ladies will order cocktails, a margarita, and an old-fashioned.
Excellent.
And the two of us will like a glass of sparkling wine each.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll be right back. Hello, Sarah. Can I please get a margarita and an old-fashioned? The margarita is for the lady right here with the back to you. The old-fashioned is for the other lady.
Of course, with pleasure.
Thank
do
you.
you mind if I ask you how would they like the cocktail? Would they like a salt rim on the margarita? Would they like up on the rocks? Do they want rye whiskey or bourbon for the old-fashioned?
I'll check with them. Perfect. And to enjoy sparkling wine from a sleek glass, do you have any preference, or may I choose between champagne, copinat, or prosecco?
It's a celebration. We'll have the champagne.
Excellent, thank you. And for the old-fashioned, would you enjoy one with bourbon or with rye?
I'll answer. It'll be with rye whiskey, please.
Thank you. And would you like a margarita up?
Up with the salt rim. Thank you.
Up. So the margarita will be up and with rye whiskey, please.
Awesome. The drinks will be ready in a minute.
Thank you. And a little bit of Dom Pérignon for the two of you by the glass. It's 2013 we are serving from Champagne, France. It's made on Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and definitely one of the most legendary champagnes ever made. There you go. With a long bottle aging to achieve this particular complexity. And Dom Pérignon was really one to revolutionize the whole area of Champagne and his way of thinking of how to harvest early in the morning hours, how to blend, and how to store the wine for a longer time. At the time of his life, he was owning 22 hectares of Champagne, or vineyards in Champagne, still remaining 15 of them in the ownership of Dom Pérignon today. So you can really see the authenticity. And can I have 2 napkins as well, please? Cocktail napkins, 2 of them, please. It's okay. Thank you very much. Margarita. There you go. And old-fashioned with rye. I hope that you will enjoy. I'll bring some snacks to your table as well.
Can you tell us a bit about the vintage of the Dom Pérignon, please?
Elaborate on the vintage, you say?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. So 2013 was really an excellent vintage, a little bit opposite to that of 2012. Here we found a really long vintage itself, with a harvest that was conducted in the end of September. Thank you.
As you know, your restaurant manager had to leave, so you had to deal with these 2 tables as well. We would like you to start over here. You will have 14 minutes for both tables, starting when this guest has placed his order.
Perfect. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nina. What a pleasure to take care of you.
Thank
How
you.
can I help?
We ordered a magnum of Chateau d'Isson to match our main course, which will be served later. And we would like you to decant it and serve it. Would you like a repeat?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
We ordered a magnum of Chateau d'Isson to match our main course, which will be served later. And we would like you to decant it and serve it. Time start now.
Thank you very much. I'll be right back. How may I help you today? My name is Nina, and I have the pleasure of doing so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah?
We're waiting for some friends.
Okay, beautiful. I'll be back then. So the beautiful Magnum of Chateau d'Isson coming from Margaux. It is a classic Bordeaux blend. Margaux is, of course, in Bordeaux, France. Here you have 2016, so I hope that will be suitable for you.
It's okay.
Thank you very much. And will all of you be enjoying a glass? Yes, thank you. There you go. And these glasses are perhaps a little bit wider than what we usually see for the use of Bordeaux. But with chef and sommelier, we get so much precision. So actually, this is the best way to enjoy the elegance of it.
Hi, Marcus.
Hello, welcome to the restaurant. Your table is right here.
Go there. Nice to meet you.
And please. There you go.
Sorry,
Yes.
as our guest just arrived, we order a bottle of 2013 Dom Perignon. Please serve it right away.
I will, absolutely. Thank you. To enjoy your Dom Perignon from this sleek glass, enhancing the quality of it and really the elegance as well. Monsieur, Dom Perignon 2013, mainly on Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from Champagne, France.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Dom Perignon is one of the most legendary producers. As you are celebrating tonight, I think, I would love to suggest you a little amuse-bouche to go with it. We have a beautiful crustade that is filled with sour cream, matching that kind of creaminess that you find in the bubbles. But also, we're topping it off with caviar to really enhance the minerality of it. There you are, sir.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And Dom Perignon, he was the monk living in the end of the 1600s up to the beginning of the 1700s, completely transforming the idea of champagne, as well as becoming the first champagne legend to actually live as a brand in Champagne, you can say. Living onwards still to this day. You like the bottle in the bucket?
Yes, please.
Thank you. And how about the cork? Would you keep it?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Please.
Oh, pardon. Thank you.
We need your advice as an expert.
Yeah.
We are going to have a corporate dinner here in France, and one of our partners, who is not here tonight, so you can speak freely, has suggested this red wine. Could you please give us your opinion upon the quality of this wine?
Yes, I would love to, of course.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful wine, this Gamay-based wine, coming from Beaujolais, France, showcasing very nicely the quality evolution that Beaujolais has been through. This is a wine brilliant for everyday drinking. It can sell up to 5, 10 years, but really a wine that is versatile with food and certainly one to buy to enjoy. I'll be back with you unless you have more for now.
Thank you very much. Everything's
Thank
fine.
you. Yeah, and it displays, it's a very fruit-forward wine, displaying beautiful acidity, these brilliant, both black and red berry fruit, and a very velvet texture, a little bit of creaminess, and a kind of ripe fruit condition. And yeah, I hope that was
That's great, thank you.
Thank you. So I see that you're still awaiting your red wine, and I'll be right back with it. And for main course, I'm sorry I didn't ask, but have you all ordered, or would you like me to come with a suggestion? Well, here I think we'll be serving you a beautiful lamb. We have a lamb that is made with a jus that it is braised in, and that is really enhancing the kind of slight maturity notes that we find within the Bordeaux. We serve it on pomme purée, because the Sun is always supremely elegant, and has this same kind of creamy texture on the palate for the pomme purée. The tannin is still velvet, and really that way harmonizing the protein in the meat. May I sample it? Thank you. It's really beautiful. And 16 as a vintage was a good vintage. Certainly, indeed, on the left bank, Anjou-Dieison is a third cru classé in accordance to the 1855 cru, which remains almost unchanged since the first day. And today they are owned by the Crus Lorenzetti, which has continued the great legacy of Dieison. It's aged in new oak, and really an elegant style of Bordeaux. I expect there to be only very little sediments, as it is a still youthful Bordeaux. For those who are feeling festive tonight, you can offer to have a little bit of shaved truffle on the top of the lamb. There you go.
Fine, thank you.
My pleasure. If you would like to have a vegetarian option instead of the lamb, we can certainly also take care of that. In that event, we will serve you a beautiful grilled portobello mushroom with a zucchini that is glazed into miso, really harmonizing that slight umami that you can feel within the wine, but at the same time interacting with the tannins in a beautiful manner and enhancing the elegance. And the main course should be right here. Would like to keep the cork? Thank you. And the bottle at the table, would you like that? Would you like to have the bottle at the table? Sorry? Well, I think such a brilliant bottle deserves to be showcased. My pleasure. There you are. Is there anything else that you would need for now?
We are okay, thank you very much.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Otherwise, let me know.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Whenever we are finished with the Dom Pérignon, if you wish, I think you should actually try a little bit of the red wine I just had that your friend bought, only whenever you are finished. But is there anything else you would like for now? Oh, sorry. The wine I was talking about before, the very velvet, fruity style of red. If you would like, we can serve you that after the Dom Pérignon.
I think that's fine. We leave it to our...
As you please. As you please. Thank you. Oops. Pardon. A little bit more of the Dompignon? Right, I know, it's great. Would you like to look into a little bit more after the amuse-bouche to enjoy? Are you fine for now, food-wise? Well, if you like, we can indeed arrange a little bit of cheeses. Beautiful both for the champagne as well as for the cocktails. In that case, I would suggest for you to have a little bit of a lighter goat's milk cheese. For you, you will be having a little bit more of a red malt cheese, Livarot, while yours is Celle Suchère. And for the two of you, Bridimo, a classic with champagne. If you should find it interesting, I would love to give you a full analysis of the little red wine. Would that be something you would be interested in hearing? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Here decor, but I think we are happy.
You are happy? That's so great to hear. So great to hear. Well, in that case, for the sake of you who are not having the pleasure of tasting it, I suppose I will go through it here. It is a, it's a red wine. Thank you. Yeah. So it is a clear, day-bright red wine. It has a ruby color and a ruby hue. It's pale in its color intensity, and it has an elevated viscosity. On the nose, it's of course clean. It shows these brilliant, vibrant fruit characteristics with blueberry and red forest berries, as well as a little bit of warm spices. It has no new oak, and it's really a classic style. On the palate, the wine has a brilliant acidity. It is clean and has this beautiful creamy texture. And at the same time, the fruit condition remains ripe. So we have tart blueberries as well as blackberries and this crushed violets. It is a wine with no new oak aging and really beautiful to drink right now. It has coming from a moderate climate, and it is a wine that can sell, as I told you, up to 10 years, only because it also has a great intensity and a long finish, and that acidity will keep it going for some time in the cellar. It's perfect to serve in a couped style of glass, 14 to 16 degrees Celsius, to enhance that elegance that it offers, and it needs no decantation. It's brilliant with variations of food. Here we'll suggest a pâté de cru, which really has the contrast of fattiness, which the acidity in the wine will dissolve. Meanwhile, that generous fruit condition is harmonizing very well the darker, richer flavors of the pâté de cru, also the cornichons that comes with it. And yeah, it just stands to show in which direction Beaujolais is moving these days.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Now it's tasting time, and you've heard this before. Please identify these 4 wines. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you. Wine number 1, it's a Sauvignon Blanc-based wine. It is coming from France. It's a Sancerre in vintage 2020 from producer such as Domaine Vacheron. Wine number 2, it is a Sauvignon, or it's a Chardonnay-based wine. It's coming from Burgundy, France. It is a Chablis in the vintage of 2019. From producers such as Samuel Pilot. Wine number 3. It's coming from Bordeaux, France. It is Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon blend. It's vintage 2017. A producer such as Domaine Chevalier. Wine number 4. It is also white Bordeaux, Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, vintage 2017. And I think this, in fact, is a little bit more the Domaine Chevalier style. So I will say that. They're all really quite brilliant white wines. That relies on the acidity and an aromatic spectrum, has a sort of green grassiness and a little bit of tropical fruit across the board, but texturally quite varied. Number 2, I would like to correct. It is a white Rhône wine. It's coming from Condrieu. It's Viognier. It is vintage 2020. And it's from Famille Pirain. Serving them in a menu, I would actually follow the order that they are lined up currently, starting with the first wine as that is the most crisp, moving on to the second as that is the most tropical and floral. Then wine number 3 that has a little bit more body than either of the two first. And then finishing off with wine number 4 that is surely the most complex and rich wine in the lineup. Also the only one that displays a little bit of oak. Wine number 3, I would also like to correct. Let me just taste it again. To a wine coming from the Rhône Valley as well, southern part of Rhône. It's Châteauneuf-du-Port Blanc, based on Grenache and Clairette. It's the vintage 2020 from Beaucastel. Wine number 1.
Time.
Thank you.
We have a small surprise for you. In front of you, there are 2 pieces of rock. Please associate them with 2 of the wines in front of you. You have 1 minute for this.
Wine number 1 belongs with this beautiful piece of slate-looking rock. And wine number 2 belongs with this larger piece of schist, mica schist-looking rock. So that would mean wine number 1 is in fact a Riesling. But a beautiful one that is. And yeah, I would like to keep it that way. So just to be very clear, number 2 belongs to the larger rock, and number 1 belongs to the slate rock.
Time.
Thank you.
We have a very special guest with us today, Chef Anne-Sophie Pic. She has a question for you. I will give you the timing afterwards.
Thank you. How can I help?
Here is a menu we are serving in my restaurant in Valence. Please choose 4 different courses from this menu to match each of the 4 wines you just tasted and explain why.
Thank you.
3 minutes for this.
Perfect. So quite a varied menu here, entailing very many different pairing options. We will be serving the order as suggested here, assuming that was the order I just tasted them in. So we will start off with the Goldtröpfen Riesling 2021. That one we will be serving together with the apple Kodomame Galicia sea urchin. Galicia sea urchin has sweetness, it has fattiness, a creamy texture, but also the aromatic apple. So here we mirror the crispness of the aromatic apple crisp in the wine, but at the same time we have acidity cleansing the palate from the richness of sea urchin. Moving onwards, we will go to the Kellerberg Riesling Schmaragd, Domaine Wachau. It is the wine we will be serving with the Tabureich oyster, with tuna, geranium, capers, and kombu. Here we have a wine with a little bit more body, able to enhance the tuna on the plate, but also acidity to bind with the capers themselves. It's an elegant dish, requiring an elegant wine, but yet with more power than the first. Then we will be having the Allhide Vineyards, and that we will be serving with the John Dory with chestnut miso glaze and oolong tea. Allhide Vineyards. It has a little bit more body, it has a more creamy texture, and the dish itself has a clear nuttiness, as well as a full body character. So the nuttiness will be mirrored within the wine, and meanwhile you find the tea to be enhanced because the wine displays the same tea-like aromatics. We finish off with the Semillon, and that one we will be pairing with the stuffed matcha pasta, with cheese, watercress, bergamot, and ginger. This is a very aromatic and rich dish. Here we are looking for something to counteract the fattiness of the pasta, but at the same time grasp around the greenness of the watercress and the ginger. The Semillon does that very well with a more mellow acidity and the very fragrant aromatic. Serving-wise, the two first wines we will serve in a sleek white wine glass at 7 to 9 degrees Celsius. The Allhide, 10 to 12 degrees Celsius in a cooped white wine glass, while the Semillon, a large, sleek white wine glass at 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. All of that to get the best out of the wine and out of the matches, of course. So I hope you're pleased with that suggestion. Yeah, okay, thank you for approving. We are always looking to harmonize and mirror some of the aromatic.
Time.
Thank you.
To be a great sommelier, you have to know the wine market. The restaurant has been offered to buy some very special bottles, but there are some mistakes on this list, either in the information or the price. Can you find the errors? You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Thank you very much. So firstly, wine number 2, the Erich Schatzhofberger Riesling Auslese in 1971. I really wish we could get it for that kind of money, but it will be at least 4 times the price, assuming this is the sales price. Number 4, Chateau Margaux, 1983, for 250 euros. I certainly want many, many cases of that, if that is a possibility. Unfortunately, you will never see Chateau Margaux at this price. It misses a 0 behind the 250. Vega Sicilia Unico 2001 was one of the vintages it was not made. So here I would suggest that we, for that price, could look for 2002 instead. Number 10, Karuizawa, the whiskey. From Nagano, Japan. 2,000 euros for the bottle would again be a little bit on the too low side. So for sure will be something we will need to see a higher price of, or suspect that it's perhaps not authentic. The Venduré Cabernet Malbec 1996 from Eden Valley. that is not the blend of this particular wine. I'll return to you exactly with what is. Sassicaia, that was the very first vintage it was made.
Time.
So, thank you.
Tasting time again.
Thank you.
Now, please make a full organoleptic tasting of the left wine. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you. I'll just put a glass of water first. Is that okay? Thank you.
So as we have time, I repeat again. Please make a full organoleptic tasting of the left wine. You have 4 minutes, starting now.
The wine in the glass is a clear, day-bright red wine. It has a ruby color and a beginning garnet hue, indicating that it is a developing wine. The viscosity of the wine is generous, and there is a clear staining of the tears, indicating extraction. It is having no sediments, and it's a still wine. On the nose, the wine is clean. It has an elevated aroma intensity. It's very complex. Aromas of evolution as well as dried fruit carries the picture. Furthermore, we find dried fig. There is fresh dark plum and cassis leaves. There is warm spices with nutmeg and allspice leading the way. A little bit of vanilla, tobacco, a kind of baked clay minerality, but also these tertiary umami notes with mushrooms and earth. It has been aged in partly new oak. And on the nose, it is a developing wine. On the palate, it's clean. It has a moderate acidity that is quite well integrated into the wine. It has silky tannins harmonious with the fruit. We find a balanced level of alcohol, and aromas show the same as we do on the nose. The tannins themselves, they are ripe and a fine-grained character. It's a medium-bodied wine. Flavors leading on are the evolution notes with forest floor, mushrooms, as well as the dried fruit spectrum with dark fruits. Following, we find plum, cassis, sweet spices with nutmeg and allspice, and still this baked clay minerality prevails. It has a strong intensity and a long finish, and it's a complex wine which really has been aged in partly new oak. It's coming from a moderate climate, and it's a more modern style of wine. The quality of the wine is high. We find a brilliant balance between the acidity in the wine and the fruit condition. At the same time, it sits at a very pleasant evolution level, so drink it now and over the course of the next 3 to 5 years to come. Decant it before serving. I suspect there might be some sediments in it, but also to allow it to breathe. Serve it at 16 to 18 degrees Celsius to enhance the elegance of it in a sleek Bordeaux-style glass. This is brilliant to have with darker cuts of meat or game. I would suggest to have venison with a parsnip puree and a sauce gestrick truffles on the top. That both mirrors the earthy tones of the wine, but at the same time give these velvet tannins an adequate piece of meat to work with. The gestrick sauce enhances the aromatic and fruity side of the wine. It is a wine that is coming from Argentina. It is a blend on Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot, and it's coming from Mendoza. Let me just. It's a Bordeaux wine. I'm very sorry. It's a wine coming from Bordeaux, France, and it's a blend on Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, classic Bordeaux blend. It is from vintage 2010, a really great vintage showing the vibrance, and it is from a Cru Classé on the left bank. It might even be older. Located within Saint-Estèphe. In a menu, this wine would be beautiful to have at the last highlight of the meal before moving onwards to the sweet part. It is really beautiful in its structure, allowing it to be served with many variations of food. Apart from the venison, we can indeed also serve something like very hard cheeses to go with it, so that we play on the tannic side.
Time.
Thank you.
Glass 2 is the same wine, but of a different vintage. Please identify the vintage and sell the wine to the audience. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. The vintage in the glass is significantly more mature than what I just described to you. So imagine it being even more earthy, even more velvet, and even more onto the tertiary nuances and greater in complexity. It drinks perfect right now, and it is a vintage 1995. Here we find a wine which has stood the test of time. It is truly a classic, iconic style of wine that will be able to be paired with very many different foods, as I described to you before, meaning you have great use of this wine. At the same time, this is a wine that you will think about again and again and again. Try to imagine opening up a bottle of a wine this beautiful, sharing it with people that you care about, both on a special occasion as well as weekdays alike. And in that very moment when sharing such special taste as this, you will form memories and strong emotions. And that is really one of the great purposes of sharing something like wine, one of the strong suits it has. You can sell it, if you wish, about 10, 15 years ahead, so it will certainly not make a bad investment. And the vintage itself, 1995, is also a very well-respected vintage. So for sure, the money's worth will not get lost in the cellar, but only at least be stabilized or maybe even increase. It is a style of wine that is truly unique to the area. You will not find this kind of precision anywhere else. And at the same time, you're actually drinking a little bit of history, because with a wine this mature, you are consuming time in a sense, and it becomes a part of you. And I think only wine can actually do that. It is also a wine that has a very wide appeal. I can think of no one who would not be able to enjoy a glass of this, because it is very evident just how high quality it is. So no matter who you serve it for, they will truly appreciate it, I'm sure. And it is a wine where you find almost a time capsule and a transportation to a sense of place, because it is so unique to its origin. So if you've ever visited Bordeaux, this is a way to revisit as you sip and drink. It's a wine you can drink over many hours, because it will evolve as it stands in the glass. And that means we can find a kind of a beautiful evening where you just lean back, enjoy, you go back to the glass, you really see how we are able to see it change right in front of you. If you were to think about anything on the social media, which some people do, this is certainly also one of the bucket list wines that you will see a little bit of likes coming from drinking, because not everybody, thank you.
Sounds good.
It is very good.
Maybe I can taste it later.
Maybe you brought it.
Well, you're free for now. Don't relax too much. You're free to go backstage. There'll be a small second part, but I think everyone in the crowd, a big hand for Nina Jensen from Denmark!